Good afternoon.
Oh shit! I woke her up.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Good afternoon and good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and Coffee Stream episode 505. And we
Error
are
505.
and we are Croaky and the Coffeeless this morning.
Which one's Croaky?
I am.
Okay.
I
I already knew I was the coffee list, so like, why am I even asking? Oh Jesus, this is why I need coffee, people.
I think I figured out what's going on with my throat. It's not my inhaler. I thought it was because I have like a daily use inhaler.
Is it
It's
just
one.
Ventolin
No,
or something
it's a
similar?
Palmacort.
Oh, okay.
So it's one of the ones that you have the risk of like a thrush thing if you don't rinse your mouth properly.
Yeah.
So I thought that might have been what was going on. But then it clicked in my head this morning that my throat issues started around the time that we picked up our latest scented candle. And I realized that the candle that we got is like coated in this essential oil.
Mm-hmm.
So when it burns, the oil is basically, I guess, vaporizing into the air. And like, I've realized that ever since I've been burning the candle and sitting it, like having it in my office, that's what's been causing the problem. So now I'm trying to find candles that don't have essential oils, which is really hard to do because
That's the rage
essential
these
oils
days.
is the rage right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's
You kind
hard
of
to
get screwed.
it's hard to find scented candles that aren't coated in essential oil.
The farmers markets usually have a bee section where they'll
That's a
sell
good idea.
beeswax candles, which
Oh
are just,
yeah. I like
obviously farmers
beeswax.
market, you'll pay a little bit more because it's quote unquote farm to table, even though it's not actual farm to table because of the candles, but still it's a byproduct of the bee harvesting process.
Good morning, everybody!
That was very
Hey,
loud.
Pinky.
Hello, Piccolo.
But yeah, they're free of any sort of additives because it's just pure beeswax.
Yeah.
And they might do your airways some good.
Yeah. And then I don't know if
Chemicals.
anybody's been if anyone saw the videos, but so my primary care physician's on maternity leave, and her locum basically tried to refuse to treat me on Tuesday or Monday. Cause and everyone for weeks, like you guys have seen, like my eyes have been all like red and like puffy and shit.
Yeah, I wasn't going to
And
say anything, but you have been looking a little bit more rougher.
yeah. So, and my right eye has been like trying to continuously fall out of my head because my eye sockets are inflamed. Right. So I called the doctor and I was like, hey, I have an eye infection. This is what's going on. And the receptionist emailed me back and was like, the doctor wants you to go to an optometrist. Now, first of all, optometrists make glasses. Okay, that's their job. I think she meant ophthalmologist.
Yes.
But second of all,
is it an actual eye doctor?
Second of all, I don't have any fucking eyes. and third,
I don't know, but they might actually also deal with like the surrounding area with like
right. But
I mean, obviously there's certain things that you don't have there, but they might be able to look at it and give you a more I don't know. I'm trying to justify something I shouldn't.
And then the other thing is that in my chart it says that I've previously been treated by their doctor group for eye infections. Not to mention that if a normal person like walks in and with conjunctivitis a GP doesn't generally send you to an ophthalmologist, right? They just go, here, you have conjunctivitis, have some drops, right? Like, that's all I was looking for, right? Because the over-the-counter shit wasn't working. So I was like, hey, I need some antibiotic eye drops. Like 32 years of having prosthetic eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Not one of my doctors has ever said, oh, you have an eye infection? I don't want to treat you. Go over to this other person.
Yeah.
Until this person who's filling in for my GP is like, nope, go here. And so I called an optometrist just to say I told you so, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, what the fuck? Why would they do that?
We don't deal with that.
Sorry.
Right. We gauge the effectiveness of your eyes and give you lenses appropriate to correct them. That's all that they do. They don't deal with tissue. They do actually, because this has happened to me, they do see things like early stage glaucoma, which I have, which last time I went to get glasses, but that optometrist told my doctor.
Yeah.
And now it's on my doctor's chart. So my doctor knows, in 20 years, I'm probably going to need more sort of a specialist thing, because glaucoma, it doesn't typically progress very fast, but it's something you can see 20 years before. And then 20, 30 years down the line, they go, okay, well, we saw that 20 years ago. Now we can start treating you for the actual end stage sort of effects.
Yeah, Elwyn, exactly. She said, my optometrist referred me to an ophthalmologist, but that was for night blindness and peripheral vision, not an infection. Yeah.
And the other thing too, Elwyn, you have eyes.
Exactly. You actually
you
have
literally
eyes.
have eyes. Hers, it's just the surrounding tissue.
There are like lumps
causing
of
an
plastic in
infection.
my head. It's the sockets that are infected.
Exactly.
So
and that's something a GP should be able to identify.
Exactly.
And I mean, at the very least, take a look at it and be like, oh, okay, this is probably a bacterial infection.
Yeah.
We'll just give you some antibiotics.
Yeah.
Done.
So
or is it a recurring problem that they can't identify? Then they would send you to an eye specialist.
Then they would be like, okay, I'm gonna send you to an ophthalmologist or something to take a look at this. But
because you don't necessarily need eyes for an eye specialist, but because they also deal with the surrounding and connective parts.
Yeah.
It's just like when you go to a ear, nose, throat doctor.
Yeah.
Obviously, like if you have an ear problem, because they're all connected, oh, well, it's because you have an infection in your throat.
Yeah.
La di da. It's why we have these special. But I mean, our system isn't very.
So I emailed them back and I was like, this is what the optometrist said. So the doctor grudgingly faxed the script for eye drops to my pharmacy and then made the receptionist email me back and go, the doctor would like you to know that in general, the optometrist deals with the sockets and surrounding tissues. And I'm like, again, ophthalmologist.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't believe you're being forced to be the messenger of an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, there's the poor receptionist, right? She's got to run back and forth and write this retarded shit. Like, I guarantee, I hope that the receptionist was sitting there typing this out going, isn't it an ophthalmologist? You know what I mean? But I have to write what the doctor said. It's just like, holy shit, dude. Wow. It was ridiculous. So now I have eye drops and my eyes are already starting to clear up. So
that's good.
Look who was right. It's like I've been dealing with this for a bit.
It's like your own body.
Yeah.
And proper terms for things, like the difference between optometrist and ophthalmologist.
And I don't even need either of them.
And cannibalistic wizard, you're sick. Go sit in the corner.
That's why I was like, I'm just ignoring you. Speaking of vroom vroom honk honk. Hello, Turk. So our Prime Minister has invoked the Emergencies Act.
We're going to war, boys. Oh wait, no, we're not.
Yeah, no. Nor are there actual terrorists happening.
Yeah, because
which was the last time. And the Emergencies Act is basically the War Act. It's just been renamed.
Yeah.
But the last
we were talking about this before the stream.
Yeah.
The only 3 times in Canada's history, World War I, World War II, and then the Bloc Québécois, not Bloc Québécois, same shit, different file.
Yeah.
The FLQ, which was an actual terrorist organization in Canada who were kidnapping people, killing people, blowing up things, cars, buildings, terrorizing people.
Yeah.
So you can see that an act like that has a very clear delineation on why it is used. It is there as a threat of violence on our soil.
Yeah.
On a large scale. It's not for, oh, I just disagree with my political opponents. Like, that's a clear and present violation of the act.
There are, like, I don't think that the protesters should have been affecting commerce the way that they are, because then they're starting to affect their fellow citizens and not just the politicians. There's also been some really weird shit on like with Pat King and all the, like, the organizers. They're starting to be like, we're Christian and for crypto. And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah. All these peripheries.
Like,
I mean, it's just
there's so much infighting going on right now with the people who have stayed. Like the diehards up who have not gone home.
Yeah.
There's starting to be so much infighting. They're making themselves look ridiculous. But at the like, there are so many people who are so wrong.
The live streams that you see that I was watching after hours, because there were live streams going on around 11 o'clock at night on TikTok. And these guys were in a room no bigger than this, and there was a hotel room. And what they were doing was they were having these seminars. Is the only way I can describe it. And the way they were talking was they were literally sounding all fucking culty and shit.
Didn't you say they kicked all the non-Christians out?
I didn't see that one. That was one that I had missed. But it's something about they had asked all the non-Christians to leave the room so they could pray. And I'm not going to shit on them for that too much, but that's
just weird, though.
The people that are having these little secret seminars that are sounding like Ponzi schemes and shit, where you get as if you are talking to the Reddit doctors or listening to there's doctors that were there that all I heard was mercury, autism, blah, 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 blah. All the shit that we've been fighting against.
All the Wakefield crap.
Until now.
Yeah.
So my biggest problem is this shit now opens a window to validate those fucking retards.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem I have with this now. So now they're in it's not a direct validation. What's happening is in a year or so now these people will take what has happened over the last 2 years and they are going to take that and they are going to fucking run with it.
Yeah.
Then welcome back smallpox.
Yep. Hot Turk says Trudeau needs to change his name or his title to something a lot more cool now that he's a fascist. Something like Grand Admiral or Internal Commandant.
And do you want to know what, and honey, do you know what comes after that?
Huh?
Prostitution.
Yeah.
Or Turk, Supreme Rita. I mean, I okay. I respect what he says, but he's being a little doom and gloom about it. I think most people don't want to go that route of the hyper, the actual anti-vax route.
My
People
mom.
people
sorry.
protesting the jab. That's okay. It's the most people who protest the jab mandates of jabbing are not anti-vax.
Yeah.
Like myself,
Yeah.
I have my MMR, I have my polio. Would if I was younger, I would have gotten shingles, but I mean, I got it at a young age, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, but I think that like anything, like any big movement or something that's getting a lot of attention, you're going to have those shysters who need to ingrain themselves somewhere to then con people into their, like you said, cult.
Yep.
Whether it be anti-vax cult or religious cult or whatever, it's always some way to ingrain themselves into a movement or a community or something to make money.
Are at the top of this thing.
Yeah. The big problem that I'm having, like, because there are so many wrongness, like so much wrong on everywhere. Like Pincalo just said, the shysters are at the top of this one. Because we've got like Pat King and all that and Tara or Tamara, whatever her name is. And then on the other side, you've got Trudeau actually going after, with this act, going after the bank accounts.
Trying to steal people's money, yeah.
Who have donated or like received money, like just donated. Like even if you have that's not okay. Like I've read, I think it's the Hamilton Spectator. I saw a tweet from this morning.
Mm-hmm.
The Solicitor General's communications director got fired because she donated $100. $100
that's the thing.
And she lost her job.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I watched Runkle of the Bailey's actual legal breakdown of this order, and it's illegal. Like the government can't actually do anything, but it's the government. They can say, we want you to do something, and then the banks will do it, which is a gray area. Or, say to their employer, you got to get rid of this person. Yeah. Obviously, there's no actual governmental mandate enforcing this, but the politicians have a certain level of power. It'd be a real shame if somebody, very, very, very gangster, very mafioso.
Yeah.
They're really showing their true colors in the face of just a tiny bit of adversity. Because if they, we got the, sorry to keep going off,
no
but we got the statements from Rob Ford the other day saying, oh, well, we're gonna lift the vax mandate for March 1st.
Yeah.
And we'll consider lifting the mask mandate. And it's like, no, the veil has been lifted. Your political theater has been exposed for the fraud that it is. End it all.
Yeah.
When it happens, if it happens, I'll take it because it's the ends are what I'm looking at here. But I mean, it's so ridiculous, because it was funny when Saskatchewan was like 24 hours, we're going to lift all mandates.
Yeah.
And then Jason Kenney from Alberta was like, well, it's 4 hours to midnight. Okay, give us 4 hours and we'll lift them. It's like you had sub provinces chomping at the bit to get rid of them. And then you have somebody like Ford who, again, I'm going to state this until I'm blue in the face. Under his lockdown measures of Ontario, his company, the company he owns, that has owned for plenty of years before he became a political figure, increased their revenue. I believe it was 60% in the first year of lockdowns, because he never closed his own business. They're a label company. How is that essential? Like, it's just follow the money, and you'll see who the criminal is every time.
Okay, well, real quick, Straight Sith Mail. Pincalo didn't say that the people in support were the cult.
No, he didn't.
He was saying that the guys like Pat King, who, like,
The people who
I
picked up the
urge
reins of
you-
leadership of this movement.
yeah, straight to mail. I urge you to just take a listen to some of Pat King's shit, because like
It's not good, man. It's
he
not good.
says the quiet shit out loud, like, and the quiet shit that you shouldn't even be thinking. Like, he takes like the worst of the worst jokes that happen on like Sinatra's channel or whatever and makes them look,
Take them to heart, yeah.
yeah, like he actually
And it's like
believes
straight
it.
to mail. A good analogy is like, okay, police reform. I think we can all get behind some level of police reform. But then Pat King is sort of like BLM, going in there, taking the spotlight, and saying, "Oh well, everything is bad and everything is corrupt,
Yeah.
and blah blah blah." And it's like, well, no, there's more to it than just that. And there are some egregious abuses of, like, say, policing, but to then say all policing is a BLM matter, it's
Yeah.
and this guy, this Pat King guy, like, I haven't seen much, so what Pincalo has said is kind of new to me. I have seen some of the statements that people are like going, "This guy's an idiot," and I'm going, "Yeah, this is kind of like AOC level stupid."
Oh yeah, he's like I actually saw a video clip or heard a video clip the other day of Pat King, and I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, did that actually just come out of your face? Like, he is literally the right wing's version of Ocasio-Cortez. He just says whatever, like his brain just thinks stuff,
Mhm.
and then his mouth goes, okay, engage.
And if either of you remember, like, if you find some of this stuff, feel free to send it to me on Discord, because
Oh yeah.
obviously, there, like I said, I don't really pay attention to that stuff that much, because there's only so many hours of the day. But it's good to be informed about that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
because you need to know when these kinds of big movements happen. You need to know who the shysters are, who the people are who are just there to derail the actual core of the movement. Same thing happened with Occupy Wall Street.
Yep.
I don't think any of us would look at things like the institutions of Wall Street. And yes, we have our own Wall Street here in Canada. The UK has their own stock exchanges, and some of the egregious practices that these people do, but then have it corrupted by, homeless people sleeping in the park and all this other additional stuff. So there was a good core movement, but then it just got completely derailed 6 ways from Sunday because bad actors.
Yep.
And we cannot devolve into, and I'll bring it up again, movements that have been hijacked by like BLM or Antifa or what have you.
Yep. And that's why people, like, I always get asked in my TikTok live streams, do you support LGBT? Do you support BLM? I'm like, I don't support movements.
Yeah.
Because they always go wrong. Always. Always, always, always. There's always somebody that fucks up the movement.
And they always change the language too.
Yep.
It's become, I have no problem with I have gay friends, I have trans friends, and blah blah.
Yep.
But I don't support LGBTQ2A plus LMNOP, because it's a movement of supremacy. It's not about equal rights. We have equal rights codified in law, as much as our law actually stands for. But I mean, the principle is there. And I don't think in the modern age there are very many people, especially in the population at large, that would be against, say, two dudes having a relationship. Like, it has nothing to do with me. Have at it. It's not something I would choose for my own life, but that's not my life. So go have at it. Now, when you start pushing that stuff in my face, or in my, I don't have kids, but in my kids' face in school at what I deem, because I am their parent, at an appropriate age, that's where you start losing any and all credibility.
Yeah.
Stop pushing that shit in people's faces, and you know what? You'll be more accepted.
Exactly.
And that goes for BLM, or even leftist ideas that I maintain are true liberal ideas. Lockean liberal, that's how I identify. But
Pinkala says, I heard today that the police chief resigned. Yes, the Ottawa police chief
Yesterday,
did
yeah.
resign. Yeah, yesterday he resigned because he's a moron. Fucking Jesus
It seemed
Christ.
like a bit of a power play, but I also kind of understand why he's sort of like, I didn't sign up for this shit.
Well,
I'm getting torn 6 ways from Sunday. I want to deal with this issue. The government is stepping in and not letting me deal with this issue. Of course, this is all supposition. I don't know, but I can sort of empathize. But still, at the end of the day, I'm like,
I don't, because before this even got co-opted and turned into a shit show, he went to the Children's Aid Society.
Yeah.
And was like, well, they brought their kids with them. What do we do? And was like, oh, we're not going to them because we want to take the kids away, but we just want to have, our bases covered in case.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck does that mean?
They want to use the institutions as violence against people so that they will be complacent. They won't go against the established narratives. Oh damn! I'm having a bit of a brain fart. No coughing.
So, do you know? Did you used to listen to or do you still listen to The Edge at all? The radio station.
I think I know. No, not anymore. I used to when I drove to school, but I think I know where you're going with this.
Okay.
Is it Dean?
So, yep. So, did you listen to Dean Blundell's morning show when it was on The Edge at all?
Yeah, he tried so hard to be a Canadian Howard Stern.
He did.
Failed miserably because the guy's got no charisma, or actually not even no charisma. He has charisma, but he's got that sort of negative charisma that makes you kind of want to hate him.
And the guy that had the good charisma, who was actually his friend, he fucked up really badly on air. Todd Shapiro.
Yeah.
He, on air, I can't remember what Dean said, but he said something really personal. I think it was about Todd's girlfriend or something on air. And Todd, I remember the rest of the show, Todd just didn't say anything. And then
I don't think I listened to that particular show, but I do remember the fallout.
Yeah, and then like that week, Todd resigned. Like he left that week. Yeah. And Jason, the other guy, he had already left like 6 months before and had been replaced by Derek, the blind movie reviewer.
Yeah.
And Jason had left, I think, because of Dean as well.
The guy's a total shithead. Dean Blundell, I should.
So Dean Blundell this weekend, basically mass doxed a bunch of the people who contributed to the Gifts and Go campaign.
Yep.
Just no reason, just put out all of got their information and just put it out on Twitter.
Well, I mean, there's a reason. The reason is he is ingrained in the establishment media. He's lapping up the corporate media's talking points. He's lapping it up.
Yeah.
Lock, stock, and barrel. He's just more, please, daddy, government.
Yeah. So this story: threats close Ottawa cafe after owner's name appears in Gibson Go data leak. Thank you, Dean. So this is a direct fallout from his actions. Stella Luna's Ottawa Gelato Cafe was forced to close Tuesday after receiving threats when owner Tammy Giuliani's name appeared on the list of the Gibson Go, or on a hack list of Gibson Go donors to the Ottawa Freedom Convoy. And this is an Ottawa cafe as well. So this is a gelato shop in Ottawa. A blind movie review. Yes, Cannibalistic Wizard. He actually still had some vision. Because
Yeah, there's
you know
different
what?
varying
That's
degrees of
another.
blindness.
That's a thing that I've noticed a lot lately. Is that little tangent here? I've seen a lot of posts from people in the blind community who still have vision, and they're talking about how they feel very isolated, and how having either all vision or no vision would be better than having some vision. And I'm sitting there trying to like feel empathy for them because but I'm like, you guys make up the majority of the blind community. How do you feel isolated? Totally blind people are only 10 to 15% of the blind community, and people like me with prosthetics are about like
Even smaller than that.
5% maybe of that group.
Yeah.
So like I don't understand, like, and for employment purposes, people who are legally blind or low vision, hands down, are going to be hired before a total. Always.
In the
Which
grand
then,
scheme of things, I agree with you, but you can kind of somewhat empathize with
I
somebody.
can. Like I
Yeah.
so
But
I'm
I mean,
stuck in this weird position
but I
where it's
mean,
like I feel bad. Like
but you want to turn around, throttle them, and go, "Suck it up, Buttercup. You could be worse."
I
And
do.
I mean, that's a perfect analogy to what's been going on in our society of the last 2 generations. Is
Yeah.
the whole adage, good times make soft men,
Yeah.
and it's like people are getting really soft. Like, yeah, it would suck if I lost a significant amount of my vision. It would suck, but I would look on the bright side. It
Yeah.
sucks that I have less mobility in my legs. I'm thankful every day I can still walk. Like it just, oh my God, these people, they've never had. I don't want to I don't want this to sound the wrong way, because it is still something very significant to a
Yeah.
human being, but they haven't had real hardship. They haven't experienced something hard and difficult in their life, and I'm being very vague intentionally, to overcome in their life, to get that sense of accomplishment, as well as overcoming adversity. I was, like I'm saying, being very vague is because you can't specify something like that, because it's different for every single person. For one woman, it might be just raising her kids right. For the next person, it might be getting that piece of life experience that they need to just be a more rounded out individual. Like all sorts of different things. So you just need something to overcome. And when a lot of people are just handed stuff, or being taken care of by others, and not being allowed to take care of themselves in a way, it does cause that sort of isolationist feelings.
Yeah.
I'm trying to dumb it real down, and not I'm not trying to say you were the chatter dumb. It's just these are very high psychological topics that are hard to talk about in layman's terms without using a whole ton of jargon, without getting very specific, because it's something I studied. It's
I love
interesting.
that. I love that, Ellen. Life is pain. Anyone else who says any different is selling you something. I love the Princess Bride quote.
Yeah.
So let's see here.
To the death, to the pain.
I'm not familiar with that term.
That is hands down, just going to go off script for a minute here. That is hands down, by far, my favorite movie all time. Yeah. No questions asked.
Oh, yeah.
Like, somebody asked me, what's your favorite movie? Princess Bride?
Princess Bride, for sure.
It's just
great scenes, great lines, great quotes that you can always just pull out.
I mean, even in our relationship, she asked me to do something, as you wish.
Yep.
There she goes, and then she giggles and gets all, ooh.
So let's see.
Gentlemen, take note.
Yep. So it says Giuliani says that she now regrets making her $250 donation on February 5th, and that staff in her shop had begun receiving threats Monday morning after her donation was posted on Twitter. Yes, because it's her staff. It's her staff's responsibility for what she does.
And these are
Fuck
actual
off.
these unlike a lot of threats, quote unquote threats that somebody would receive on, say, social media, Twitter or something, like go fuck yourself or something. Those aren't real actionable threats.
No.
These seem pretty actionable given the climate. Where's the police that are helping defend these people? Well,
Yeah.
obviously they're on the wrong side politically, so there is no help for these people.
Well,
That drives me
and
nuts.
it's sad that she regrets like believing in something enough to donate. Like that shouldn't.
Yeah, because I wouldn't, even though I vehemently hate an organization like Black Lives Matter, I'm not going to threaten somebody for giving them $20 or
No, like
$250 or whatever.
It's not.
That's
their
your
fault.
choice.
Yeah, it's not the everyday person's fault that the organization itself is crap.
Yeah.
Like
and if that person wants, I will engage them. I will talk to them and say to them, you know what? I don't agree with your decision. And, if you want to have a conversation about it, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why these people are nothing but grifters.
Yep.
I wouldn't hold the person responsible. And again, I wouldn't levy violence against them. Even when I say off the cuff, like I want Justin Trudeau to, say something, that could be considered a threat. It's like, yeah, but it's not actionable. I'm not actually going to go and hurt the prime minister because that's not what we do in civil society.
So Giuliani said, or we got a call from the team saying we're getting phone calls here. Giuliani said in a phone interview Monday afternoon. She said, I said, what's going on? And they said they're threatening to throw bricks through the windows. Jesus Christ. They're threatening to come and get us. I said, lock the door and we'll find out what's going on. Giuliani said that she ordered the shop closed and staff to go home for their own safety. She said she intended to report the threats to police. In a leaked Gibson Go post, Giuliani said that she had initially given $100 on GoFundMe, but asked for a refund when that fund was frozen.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm giving you $250 and taking food down to the truckers every day. Thank you for continuing to fight for truckers across the country, she wrote. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You shouldn't regret doing that.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're making it. And you can assume, I should say, I know who's levying these threats. It's Antifa and Antifa-like members who reside here in Canada.
Yeah.
We have them.
Yeah.
We haven't had the level of violence from Antifa and BLM that they did down in the States, but they still exist up here. They still have that strong enough movement up here. They're the ones who are sending in these threats. It's almost obvious. And even still, look at what happened the other day, because I remembered this. Sorry to go off on another tangent. What happened in the Women's March in BC? They started tearing down statues.
Yeah.
Again, more violence than this movement at its core in the first couple weeks had. Because it was peaceful. It was violent. Now that things are, I agree. Things are getting a little bit out of control. But I mean, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. For the people who want to deride Freedom Convoy 2020, 2021, 2022. Jesus, what year is it? Where am I?
So it says Giuliani confirmed she made the donation, but said she had no idea about what she thought was a peaceful grassroots movement would become.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, you supported what was a peaceful grassroots movement, and the shysters like that. That's what happens.
And then the detractors
It's
from
not
the
your
movement
fault.
are the ones levying you with violent threats.
Yeah.
Again, things that are, if anyone in their right mind would probably look at these threats, these claims of threats, and go, yeah, you know what, that's probably actionable. They're right at the heart of this, what's been going on. Yeah, it's probably actionable. Now, if there was a same threat from, say, oh, I don't know, Sudbury, some cafe owner in Sudbury, I might
Yeah.
be a little bit more suspect, going, you're at the other end of the province. I don't really believe it. So
Yeah.
I might be I'll be a little bit more apprehensive.
Yeah, but that's not okay. Like, you shouldn't, like I said, even if you're, a BLM, like just an everyday work a day BLM supporter, and you donate like $100 to something, and some crazy right wing people find out and try to attack your business, that's not okay either.
Yeah.
Like, that's equally not okay.
I found out you donated to BLM. Oh man, I'm gonna but I mean, in all honesty, again, I don't see the scope and scale in which those types of things happen are very, very much one-sided right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for every threat of that might come from the colloquial right about, say, a BLM supporter or something, there's 1,000 from the other side. It's so off kilter, and I think that's just because the Overton, the goalposts are on wheels, and they just keep getting shifted more and more left. If you're right of Stalin, you're now a evil right wing conservative. It's crazy.
How's my eyes, Ryan? They're getting better.
Yeah. Hey Ryan, nice to see you again.
They're clearing up, but I have drops. I have my antibiotic drops now, so.
Oh, Elwin brings up a good point. Except for the G8 summit that went foobar in Toronto, police started to attack everyone.
Yeah.
And it's really funny. I find it ironic, and I laugh at my friends because they brought this on themselves, is that they went down to the G8 protest. They all got arrested. They all got abused. And that was, a decade ago. Now they're on the other side. They're saying, no, you should be masked up and be made to take this experimental medication and should be meant to comply with government orders. And I'm like, motherfucker, weren't you just protesting the exact same government?
Yep.
It's so weird. It's things like that I just can't wrap my head around. I'm still so weirded out by stuff like that.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
The people who used to be anti-establishment are now the hardest of the hardcore of the establishment.
Yeah.
Man, I hope nobody trashes that woman's business, because that would be a shame. Because I know that she probably wouldn't get any help from the system. And then tack onto that, maybe they might try to start a fundraiser to save her business. But then what's big old scary big man Dean Blundell going to do there? Is he going to dox those supporters?
Yeah.
The guy's just a total fucking piece of trash. I know he's not going to be listening to this, but Dean Blundell, go. I'm not going to say it.
Right.
Go take a long walk off a short pier and don't come back.
So apparently, the city planners in the Tri-Cities, specifically Kitchener, are very, very woke.
There's a pop-up on top of it.
Racialized and indigenous supports for equity fund. I don't know what that even means.
It means that they're racist, and these po black people, these po old colored people, they need your money because they're less than you. It's so overtly racist.
So this says the city of Kitchener is proud to launch it's proud of its racism too. Okay. That's not good. The city of Kitchener is proud to launch its racialized and Indigenous supports for equity Rise Fund. The concept for this grant came directly from the members of the community who expressed a need for clear action and increased supports for groups who need it the most. What does their skin color have to do with what they need the most?
It's not what their skin color is, it's what everybody else, white people, it's what their skin color is.
As a community-led and city-supported initiative, oh boy, this fund. So, as a community-led, city-supported initiative, the Rise Fund will provide increased opportunities for Black, Indigenous, and other racialized groups to. Why? Sorry, my brain just broke.
Yeah. I mean, this, just like how we see in the United States with these similar practices running afoul of their laws, this runs afoul of the Canadian Human Rights Act. You cannot treat people differently based on their race, ethnicity, or any other immutable characteristics.
Yeah. How about you take a look at their you want to help them the most? Take a look at their economic situation. Take a look at their, is this
and the reasons why people are in low economic standing.
And don't say it's because they're Black. No,
I don't care about their skin color.
No, not
are
you.
they lazy
or
are they just were they just dealt a bad hand?
That's what I mean.
Need that
there are
step
so
up.
many racist people that are like, oh well, they're Black and that's why they're in low economic conditions. It's like,
and does it get any more racist than that?
That's racist.
Jesus. Sure, I mean, honestly, short of actually going out in a gang in a lynch mob and looking for people of X ethnicity, X skin color, and actually enacting violence on them, is there anything more racist?
No.
Really? Imagine if disability or welfare or food stamps down in the States or whatever gave you more or less depending on male, female, Black, Chinese, white, and even then saying Black or white is not a descriptor. Are they from Ghana? Are they from Jamaica? Are they white? Are they Italian? Or are they German? Or are they Irish? They're very different cultures, very different people. Are they Ashkenazi Jews who are, for all intents and purposes, white, but again, very different from somebody who's Italian? Are you going to treat any of those differently?
Yeah.
Well, maybe these people will, but under the spirit of the law, under the spirit of Western ideals and liberal freedom, no, you don't. Because if you do, it opens up the floodgates for shit like this.
Yep.
And the 2017 Anti-Racism Act, people were like, "Oh, it's a slippery slope fallacy." Blah 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 blah. This, the shit you're. You know what? No, we were proven right again. We're proven right again because it is a slippery slope because you get shit like this, like Rise and other similar shit that they've been trying to push through.
Even the name of
Until
this
my
is
blood's
racist. Rise. Rise, because you are so low. What?
I'll tell you though, from an advertising standpoint, it's a good acronym.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's gonna open some eyes. That's gonna perk up some ears and go, "Oh, Rise, that sounds great. That sounds like it could help them." And blah blah. But it's all the veneer on the outside of just a deeply racist.
Yep. So it says the Rise Fund was developed in collaboration with community members from the Mayor's Task Force on Equity Diversity. What the
Jesus Christ.
And in equity, diversity, and inclusion to help let's see, to help decrease inequities and increase opportunities for local Black, Indigenous, and racialized communities. Throughout the work of the task force, we heard firsthand how this needed to be one of the actions listed in one of the city's corporate entity and anti-racism strategy. Oh my God. The new racialized Indigenous Supports for Equity Rise Fund is being launched during Black History Month 2022.
Which isn't even a thing in Canada. Fuck off.
In keeping with this year's theme for Black History Month, which focuses on the importance of Black health and wellness, the Rise Fund will provide the Rise Fund will provide sustained funding for Black, Indigenous, and racialized groups, said Town Councilor Sarah. So you're gonna so this is a grant to help provide, or a grant to help, make better community supports, because we need to like segregate communities by race now, apparently.
Yeah, we were on the cusp of a completely post-racial society, and then these assholes drag us. They try to take us out, but they drag us back in.
This is
such a farce.
And when you point that out, you're the racist one.
And you know what? You know what is Black? You know what is Canadian history is in Canada? It is Black history. It is the history of Black folk, the Irish, the Italians, the Indians, the Chinese. It's everybody in Canada. There is no Black history. It's Canadian history. That Black history is just as much a part of my history and your history as it is somebody who actually is Black, because it's Canadian history. It's you just get so riled up, and it's so I heard you struggling even trying to wrap your head around it as you're reading it. It's like, it's so insanely stupid.
Yeah. Like,
how did we get to this part that we just as a society just become so complacent in government and these other institutions that we just let these people swarm all over these elected spots?
I think we've forgotten that it's that we dictate what the government does.
Yeah.
Because I've been really binge listening to old shadow programs. And the commercials, when they're not trying to sell you blue coal, America's finest anthracite, they're talking about how it's your duty to pay attention to, what your local members, like even your municipal members of parliament are doing. Oh, look, my ring light fell down.
Just breaking shit. Beep,
and I didn't even touch it.
That's
kind of creepy.
Clean up in aisle 2.
I hope it's okay. I have to check it.
You still look fine.
Huh?
You still look fine. We can still see you and everything.
Oh, good. But oh no, it knocked my Borg cube off of its stand.
Aw. And yeah, Pincalo raises a good point. The actual history of racism in Canada, it doesn't stem from Black versus white or whatever like that. There was Chinese, Indigenous, Irish. There was actual, but we've moved past that.
Yeah.
We live in a society, and in a modern day world society, we've moved past those things. Those were things of generations ago, and we learn about that in school, first of all. So whatever these racial equity people say, we learn about that shit, first of all. Second of all, the reason why we learn about those things is to not repeat them. and to understand that, yeah, we are better than our forefathers in those
Yeah.
regards. Because if you or I or Pinkala or anybody were to grow up in those times, you know what? You might not feel, perfectly okay with it, but it was kind of a societal norm.
Yeah.
So I don't really hold people in the general populace to account for that kind of stuff. Yeah, kind of sucky that you just went with the crowd there, buddy. But at the same time, it was but again, we're not in those times, so there's no need for this equity stuff. Treat
Right.
everybody the same. Give everybody, even with our social safety nets and programs and stuff, give everybody that helping boost that they need, and let them succeed or fail on their own merits.
Yeah.
Because not all of us can be Elon Musk's and Jeff Bezos's of the world and make it huge, right?
Exactly.
But some of us, in fact, most of us, can just build a sustainable, happy life, build a family, and just be a part of society.
Yeah.
I don't think,
And
I don't think that many more people need much more than that.
No, but the thing, and before my ring light fell, I was saying that when I listen to these things, it talks about how it's your job to learn what your local members of government, right up to your federal members of government, are fighting for, what their platforms are, so that you can pick the best person to do what you want them to do.
Yeah. Be an informed consumer. You would do the same thing in the supermarket. You would do that same thing in the supermarket on what you feed your kids. Why not be a little bit more involved in learning about what government is doing? Municipal, federal, provincial, doesn't matter. Just take some time. Get informed. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to talk about it like we do, BP.
Yeah.
I would say we are on the other end of ignorant, in that we're really well informed, maybe sometimes a little too informed about some of the goings on. And it can be depressing, because you read about some of this stuff, the corruption, and you're just like, oh, what's the point of it all if it's so deeply corrupt? But the best thing to do is to talk about it and maybe inform somebody that may not know. Hey, did you know that this happened? Be like, oh, you might get that spark out of somebody that might say, you know what, maybe I should take a little bit extra time out of my week, an extra hour or two, to read what's going on in my own country, in my own backyard, in my own province,
Yeah.
Because when you allow people to just consume corporate media,
Pinkala, we can't all build a yacht that is a 38-foot apartment building, or 38-story apartment building. Yeah, we were reading about or listening to Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
There was a video about
not with that attitude, Pinkalo. Come on, get to work.
I can't remember. Oh, it was the Ted Burback video about how Jeff Bezos is a cartoon villain.
Oh.
Because and he was like, all of his evidence and stuff he was putting up, like the laugh that Jeff Bezos has, and the freaking 38-story yacht that he has built. And Pinkalo told me he was reading about how in order to get this yacht out of the I think it's Denmark or Norway, they have to dismantle like this historical bridge that doesn't work or anything anymore. It's just
it's not even open. It's just there.
And they have to take it apart just so that they can sail the boat out and then put it back together. And he gave them like $500 million. So like, here.
That's a lot. I mean,
ahead.
the detractors from that are so stupid. Like, I neither hate nor like Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
I respect the hustle.
Yeah.
Don't hate the play, I hate the game.
Yeah.
He played the game and he succeeded better than, 99.9999% of us. Great. more power to you, buddy. I don't care. I don't hate. But the fact that he's putting that much money into your local economy, creating that many jobs, which, I mean, again, say what you will about Bezos, his name alone has pull. Some next instant billionaire, millionaire type person will go, well, I'm getting my yacht built at the same place Jeff Bezos did.
Yeah.
That's going to inspire more money to go to those shipbuilders.
Yep.
Seriously, like, come on. These people, as Skep would say, these people know nothing. They don't know the first thing about economics or society. And they, what I would say is, yeah, and Twitter and all these social media things have given these crazies the big megaphone. We used to be able to avoid those guys easily because there was one sitting outside Eaton Center.
That's people like, that's the thing. Everyone's like, everyone is so much crazier now. And I'm like, no, it's just that everyone has a fucking keyboard.
Yeah.
Like, the internet is just that scene from The Life of Brian when he's running through the square and there's all the people just standing on their soapboxes, just randomly shouting things.
Yeah.
That's what the internet is now.
Yeah, large chunks of it, yeah. That's why I still appreciate a platform like YouTube, even with all their bullshit and criminal activity that they do. It still gives you, as a host, as a channel creator, control over the voices on your channel.
Yeah.
And someone as an end user can pick and choose what to listen to. I listen to a lot of people I don't agree with on a lot of things because I want to be educated. I want to know good ideas, bad ideas, or not, neither good nor bad, just different from my ideas.
Exactly.
Because then we learn, we be better people, and hell, even some of the more intelligent and critically thinking can take the good ideas, bad ideas, and maybe come up with a better idea. And ultimately, that's how government should work. We know it doesn't. I can't. Costin asks, who is more evil, Elwyn, Dr. Functional, or the typical politician? Well, it certainly can't be Elwyn because mid-show she brought me coffee, and there's no way a sweet woman like that could be evil.
No,
never, not in 100 years. Even if she is a woman.
Oh my goodness! Well, I need
to go.
I need to go eat something. And but I would like to thank you guys for joining us, and please come by Twitch tomorrow for Beat the Blind Girl. I'll be practicing for the King of the Hill on Saturday, which is going to be over on Blindcito's Twitch channel at 8 p.m. Eastern. So sorry, Pincalo, you're going to have to put the boys to bed on Saturday.
Is your go-to still Joker?
Yes.
I thought so.
Yes. And so I'll be practicing on Twitch, on my Twitch channel tomorrow and Friday. And come by for the coffee stream on Friday and Saturday on Star Trek. We're going to talk about Trek tropes. Indeed. And yes, of course, we will be talking about Ensign Ricky.
And Piccolo wants to remind you he will be live on Monday.
Yes. Oh, yeah. We're going to do our Blind and the Special.
Blind and the Special's coming back?
Yeah, on Twitch.
Sweet.
We do it. We're doing it on my Twitch channel. Oh, you're going to be live on Monday. Yeah, because of Family Day. Yeah. Pincala will be live on Monday on his Twitch channel, probably. Because it's Family Day, so he doesn't have to work. So, yeah. And his is Driving Ape. His Twitch channel is Driving Ape. So
just Driving Ape? Okay, I'll search for it.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a good day, and we will see you guys later.
Jolan True, Canada.